Good morning, everyone. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Irons channel, and it's the first West Ham match review from me of the summer, of the season. Stateside Cup friendly match in Jacksonville, America last night. Lots of bad weather in the US at the moment, torrential rain. It delayed the kickoff start, so a lot of fans frustrated who had actually paid for the feed. I actually just just typed in something on YouTube and found a remarkable live feed for the match. For various reasons, I wasn't going to watch it, but I was up last night. I didn't watch the first half. I watched most of the second half, really, and yeah, it finished West Ham United 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3. So, yep, defeat. And before I get into it, yeah, I've always said that I don't really look at the results a lot in friendlies. What I look at is, especially with the new manager in JLo's, look at how we've set up, what our tactics are, what are the players' movements, how is the manager interacting with the players. That's really important to me because, like with David Moyes, I felt he was very cold towards a lot of the players. Didn't really used to show much of a character, much of a personality on the pitch for me. Used to make very, very late substitutions. Wasn't much of a put your hand or put your arm behind a player, that kind of thing. Wasn't really animated enough for me on the pitch. That always shows to me. I mean, if I was a player, if I was especially a fan, I like to see my manager quite animated on the pitch, pointing fingers, waving instructions, shouting, and I saw all of that from Lopetegui. So what I saw from him on the touchline was much better than Moyes. He seemed to sort of be watching it with a keen eye, concentrating, but more than that, actually quite quite frequently shouting out instructions, pointing fingers, and when bringing players on, having a word with them in the air, putting his arm around them, tactically telling them what's required. That's kind of really really good, really. Um, but like I said, yeah, I don't really look at the result. I look at everything. Um, Trying to think, how should we start this? Should we go into it by detail, or should we just actually let's go into the sort of the facts, really? So yeah, like I said, Wolves 3, West Ham United 1. Wolves obviously have lost Max Kilman to West Ham. He kind of had a part to play last night. But if you look at generally, just summarising quickly, Kuna made it 1-0 after 18 minutes. Apparently, he had too much room. He got injured as well later on, I think, with Chan coming on after 30 minutes. So that was that. Kudos equalised after 44 minutes. Good individual goal. As you expect in friendlies, perhaps you're not going to get that close marking, close challenges. I think so. Kudos was kind of given a reasonable amount of time and space to make that run, and he put it away really, really nicely. Really, that was 1-1. Before I go into the subs and everything, Gomez, the new signing from Portugal, only 12 million apparently, and had an amazing match. He kind of got two goals. He got a goal after 72 minutes and a goal after 77 minutes, really. And that was it from us. There's no more goals from us, and it finished 3-1, really. Before we really go into the goals a bit more, starting if I summarize, I think everyone had a game. Everyone out there, the youngsters, the players who perhaps haven't played a lot under Moyes, have not going to perhaps been a long-term plans of J-Lo, they all had game time, which is really good to see, really. So if you look at it, I mean, yeah, Creswell, Mavropanos, Kufal, Potts, Ings, Suchek, Fabianski, Ward-Prowse, Kudos, Cornet, Agurd, they all kind of more or less started the game, really. And from what I could see from the comments, especially in the first half, I think Creswell didn't really provide much in terms of the modern fullback that we're trying to sign, who's stroke wing back, has got that pace, has got that engine, that stamina, that tenacity to be mobile, can go up and down that wing, tackle when it's needed, go up there, provide a width when needed, cross it in, be aggressive. So that Krasi didn't provide none of that, and I am a bit surprised why we're giving him another deal. But I do get that you can't bring in everyone in one window, and perhaps it just makes sense to have Krasi in there for another year in terms of perhaps experience. And also he's a good pro, so it's not really much of an issue there for him, and perhaps he can play some games in the cups, things like that. So I'm hoping he does not start. So again, he doesn't look like he's or should be anywhere near the starting first team when the league starts. Really, Mavropanos, he was all right, no worse or better than anyone else really. Actually, with Creswell, let's do it by who started the first half and who came on. Let's do it that way. So let's go back to Creswell. So Emerson came on. Yeah, again, much more mobile, much more fitter, up and down that wing. Was trying to make things happen with Guilherme on that kind of left side. So that was good to see both sort of players with a Brazilian background trying to play together, really. So yeah, he was better than Cressy, but didn't really do anything in terms of. But actually, yeah, no, I did see him go into the box a lot more than Cressy, so he was kind of all right, should I say? Mavropanos, he kind of, like I said, he wasn't better or worse than anyone else. He was all right. He came off 46 minutes for Zuma to come on. Now this is the problem, isn't it? Zuma was fucking awful. Zuma was bad. He was actually involved in both their second half goals where he kind of, well, one of the goals, I think it was the first one where a Gerd had two strikers next to him, so he'd really try to make the tackle from the first guy, and then the ball went loose, and Zuma should have really done a bit more, especially when on that time in the second half, largely you had three centre backs there. You had Kilman on the pitch, you had a Gerd was there, and you had sort of obviously Zuma, but Zuma was nowhere. Zuma was nowhere to help Agerd for the second or the third goal. Third goal is more or less Zuma not being tight enough, giving too much room to them. So Zuma for me, easy. We're carrying a casualty here, handicap player on yeah, was it lots of money he's on, and no, he didn't show me anything, and that's what I mean. Just bearing, just be a bit patient with Lo. He's just trying to find out, same as we are. Do these players have anything more left? Creswell, I don't think has, but keep him ticking in there. Zuma, we got to get this player off the books. He was shite, absolute crap in terms of marking anyone. Really, all over the place. Really, legs are gone. Probably more or less done what you wanted to in the game. I don't think there's much left there really. If we go on to Kufal, again, because I didn't watch the first half, but what I've been told is he's very, very average. Very, very average, and all the fans thought they can see what we're looking for a right back. So again, if you're looking into the future, looking at what teams around you are doing, I don't think Crazy Kufal should be anywhere near the team, really, of a good, ambitious team. Kilman came on. Kilman looked really, really good. Really, really comfortable with the ball, full of confidence. You kind of looked assured, so when the ball was going towards him, you kind of knew. And you can tell, and I'm really, really happy, you can tell he's going to be one of the main good players. It's saying that when the ball goes to Kudos, the ball goes to Bowen, Paqueta, Ward-Prowse, dare I say, and this man Kilman, he's going to be one of the main players, really. And I'm really happy to see that. I could see that he was self-assured, confident, very good in terms of the ball at his feet. The passing ranges were excellent. He looked very, very good alongside a Gerd, and that was kind of good to see because a Gerd again, I don't want to get carried away with a Gerd. I do. He's a pain in the ass when it's a kind of a competitive match, a reasonably good opposition. A Gerd goes to pants, right? He can't mark anyone. He's all over the place. But in this game, largely, he again looked really, really assured, really, really comfortable, more happy than he's been. Good distribution, and going forward, I think Kilman and a Gerd could have some time together, especially this morning. I don't want to talk about too many transfers on this show. I'll do that later on. But what I'm hearing is linked into talking about a Gerd is that we're perhaps at the moment not looking for another centre back at the moment. So perhaps J-Lo's going to give this Max Kilman a Gerd partnership a bit more time, really. So no issues with a Gerd. regarding this. Potts again, I don't know much. I don't know if he did any more or less than anyone in the first half. I heard he was all right, so he came off. Guillermo, this is the one I'm nervous about, isn't it, everyone? I don't know why we brought him in, but again, I hope I'm wrong. But he didn't show anything really. He just didn't look like give me the ball. He kind of hid. I couldn't see him most of the game. I didn't know where he was, what he's trying to do. So he didn't stand out. He kind of hid like he's scared. Hasn't got confidence. Apparently, he's got a lot of pace. I didn't see it. So, like in the first half, Kudos, oh my God, he was the main man. Kudos was by far our best player in the first half. He was like, he had 3, 4 Wolves players around him all the time and he never lost the ball, got that goal. He looked even better. So if we get, after this season, we get one more out of Kudos, I'll be surprised. This man is just fucking amazing, right? All right. And then you look at Guillermo. No, I didn't see anything. I'm really, really worried about that in terms of physical stature and that kind of thing. He just hid, for me, he hid. He just didn't. I mean, if you're going to hide in a friendly, what are you going to do in a competitive game? Playing Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Villa, Spurs. The Premier League is an unforgiving league. It's there. Yeah, you got to be a soldier in the Premier League, and I do not get this signing. I'd rather go into the Championship, or certainly go for someone who's very, very sort of used to the Premier League, or physically more up for it, more older. It's such a risky signing for me, and like a club at West Ham, have we really got 20 odd million or a little bit more to do this kind of thing? I'm not sure about this, but I hope it works out for him. But I didn't see anything from Guillermo. Danny Ings, again, it's becoming a bit of a problem. We can't get rid of him. He doesn't want to go. He's on 150k a week. He's going to stick around for a year. Again, it's just a modern player. Doesn't really bother. Doesn't want to really play. He's more interested in living in London. Listen, he's a good lad. He doesn't cause any problems, but I just wish he'd just move on and we can get someone younger in because he's not going to suit any formation we're going to play. So he's just coasting, having a nice holiday, looking at his hair, seeing how it's doing, all that kind of thing, really. Kadoa, he looked all right. I think, yeah, Kadoa looked okay, actually. He wasn't too bad, to be fair. I think this is the chap that was the fullback, wasn't he? Yeah, he looked good. Apologies about not being sure about Kadoa. Like you said, I don't really follow all these youngsters. I like to see them come into the first team and then talk about it. I don't want to talk too much about what I've seen in the game midweek at Dagenham or something under 21, under 18. I don't want to go into that, but he looked all right at right back next to Zuma and that kind of thing. So he was kind of okay. Um, just going to look at his stats, actually. Yeah, not too bad. Souček was awful, I heard. He came off 46 minutes as well. I heard. See, we're a ball possession playing team. I'll go into the style a bit more in Souček, but just suffice to summarise that Souček, yeah, he wasn't all that. Orford come on. Yeah, he had that good shot. That went just over the bar. Orford was all right. Fabianski came off. Fodringham, good save from Fodringham when he came on. Then 2 goals. He couldn't do much about that. But again, he looked fairly confident. He was good with the ball at his feet. Very nippy. He doesn't mess about when distributing. So I like that. He looked all right. Ward Prowse looked really good. Ward Prowse looked a different player. Everyone, much more mobile. And again, I'll talk about that a bit more at the end when I summarise the system, the tactics, what I saw. But Ward Prowse looked good. Really moving the ball or zipping it around really quickly, playing a much more kind of happy attacking role rather than just sit back and be a CDM and that kind of shit. So, yeah, really happy with that. I was worried about him in this kind of role, but looks like he's got more to his game than I thought. Irving, again, didn't see much of him, so I don't really know much about that. Kudos, yep, man of the match, Kudos, West Ham, amazing, amazing, getting better each game, and he's going to be one of the stars of the Premiership next season. Forget being one of West Ham's top players. He's going to be one of Premier League's top players, really. And again, talking to Liverpool fans, talking to those shitty so-called super club arseholes, discussions are going the same way. Like talking to my Liverpool family friends. I wouldn't give more than 45 for Kudos. I said, yeah, you gave 75 million for Slobberslide, didn't you? Load of shit. So again, all stuck up views. And then I know some of them know that by at least January, they'll be licking their lips. Kudos, can we buy? Oh, yeah, we think he's worth 80, 90 now. So all this shit. Kudos is the next Declan Rice for us in terms of value and how good he is. And these super club fans who fucking got, yeah. got their head stuck up their asses. They don't know what we're talking about. See, Cornet is again dividing fans. Sorry, I'm still alright with Cornet. I've seen a lot of good running, trying, great effort in all the friendly games he's played at. He's playing up front by himself. He can't turn the world around, right? But I think he's a much happier Cornet. I think he's going to be given the whole season, Cornet. Again, he's one perhaps we can't sell. I don't think he'll pass a medical, or does someone really want to pay a permanent fee for him? So I think there's room for Cornet as a sub. Use him on the wing. He can play wing back, full back. I don't know if we're going to explore that. He has played up front with Burnley, but ideally with a two up front. But unlike Ings, I think there's still something in there with Cornet. You know, I know he didn't score, but it's getting better. Give him time. The boy's been out of the picture for a long time. So I'm going to stick with him. I like the movement. I like the effort. So I'm going to keep him in there, and he's trying to get involved. I like that, you know. Unlike the Brazilian kid who didn't want to get involved, Cornet was there, right, visible. A Gerd, yep, no problem with him. Just long as he doesn't get a strop, looks happy. When he's marking a really good striker when we're playing him, that he clearly knows what his man is, and there's good communication between him and Kilman. Hopefully Kilman will sort him out in terms of communication, because there's no communication between Gerd and Zuma last season. It was a fucking joke. How many times did strikers used to get in between the two and just fucking score? He's looking at him, who's marking him? Fucking no one, mate. So Gerd's all right, but I've got to see it in competitive games. I don't want to see these friendly games where he looks good with the ball at his feet, stylish, all that. I want to see him hardcore defender. I want to see a Gerd and see how that goes. Fee, yeah, again, look good, look busybody. Casey, Kadoa, yeah, they all look good, really. So that's kind of summarising each player for you, what I thought. Let's get on to the most interesting thing for me. I liked what I saw. We were moving the ball around a lot quicker than we did with David Moyes. We were trying to press a tiny bit or a lot more. I mean, because the quality wasn't there in the first half. A lot of these players, I think, are not in the manager's plans. When you look at sort of Krezi, you look at kind of Kufal, Souček, Ings, they're not really going to be kind of starting more often than not, really. So I blame that a bit in terms of attainment. We've lost the game due to that. But in terms of moving it around, a lot more quicker, a lot more slicker. I like what I saw from Ward-Prowse, you know. So much better than just sitting behind the ball, soaking up the pressure, waiting for the odd sort of counter-attack. This was much more better. So the ball was being moved around a lot faster, a lot quicker. The players looked to be trying, running around as much as they could. Whether they were as fit as Wolves, whether they were as interested as Wolves, or taking it as seriously as Wolves, or whether West Ham have had more important players out, so people like Paqueta, Bowen, one or two others who've been away on tournaments, whether that's affected us more than Wolves, because with respect to Wolves, I don't know how many of their players were involved in the Copa America and the Euro, I don't know. So they seem to have more of their starters within that squad than we did, so I think that made a key difference. And then people like Guillermo just didn't do enough for me. Because the boy who scored 2 goals for Wolves, he signed in the summer as well. You know, he ain't played a lot, but he fucking took the game with a scruff and banged in 2 goals. 12 million signing. And this Brazilian kid didn't do fuck all, right? So can't really blame J-Lo for too many of those things. Really happy with all the youngsters, to be fair. Really, I didn't see any of them, I could say, that not going to be as good as some of the players, other experienced players on the pitch. So I'm happy with all the youngsters. Hope that keeps going. I really like that side of J-Lo. I think it's one of the key things the board have brought him in and got rid of Moyes is the youth thing. It's getting embarrassing now. So I'm happy with all of them, right? The manager knows better to me how to use them next season, but certainly in terms of a future potential, it's all there. So I'm happy with all the youngsters that he's used so far, really. Tactically, I think not having a striker is a huge thing in football for me. It's a huge thing. It's like trying to play, trying to play cricket without a cricket bat. I don't know how to compare it, but that's one of the things why we've probably lost the game, or will continue to, until we really have one or two good. And by strikers, it's not Cornet's not the solution. Danny Ings not the solution. It's got to be someone big up front who can hold it up, be strong enough to go left, go right. Actually, Antonio didn't talk about, did he? He looked all right. He looked slightly fitter, slightly meaner. He tried to make one or two things happen. So, yeah, Antonio was good, and I think he'll be a great sub. He'll be a wonderful sub. And perhaps explore the idea of him. I mean, once we get the main striker up front, perhaps there is room for Antonio in one of those free spaces behind the striker in a 4-2-3-1. I don't know whether he's got the ability to go down the wing anymore. He's 34 now, but I like what I saw. But what I don't want to see is Antonio starting week in, week out as that striker up front. He ain't going to work. As a sub, he's brilliant. Brilliant coming on after 65 minutes. Because don't forget, J-Lo's going to make subs a lot earlier than Moisey. So Antonio coming on with a stalemate, or if you're losing, dare I say, after about 65 minutes, Antonio coming on is brilliant. Because I don't think physically he can do it week in, week out either. And it's just not good for him. It's not good for me watching him, having a go at him. But all I would say is, yeah, defeat is a defeat. It's not nice. It's good that some of the fans got to watch the game because I wasn't sure if the game was going to go on. I like the way the manager's giving the youngsters a chance. He's giving every player a chance. I love that. But he's not stupid. He's astute. He's very experienced. I think all fans who've seen the preseason so far, certainly the ones with a bit of knowledge, dare I say, they know that things are different. He's doing things differently to Moyes. We're playing a lot better. It can't all happen overnight. Like, he can't just play all out. He's not going to play all out expensive like Brighton and Tottenham. And I don't think we should, looking at the results those clubs get. But it will be certainly a lot better than Moyes. He will be more attacking. It'll be more possession-based. It'll be zipping around a lot more. It won't be that slow Man City, Barcelona kill, you go to sleep. I think it'll be more zippy, more bright, more 1-2s, West Ham football, right? But we are missing that focal point up front desperately, and our defence is still shit, right? Especially, I don't want to single out, because the Girdle's are right at the end of the day, but Zuma was awful. Fucking hell. If Zuma can't defend or look after a person when you've got Max Kilman and a Gerd next to him, what the fuck he's going to do with two in the middle? So he's a lazy little shit. And I think Orford had to cover for him a couple of times, and we didn't really have that strong CDM. It was like we were missing kind of Alvarez and kind of Paqueta and people like that. So don't forget we were missing three of our best players, shall I say. But Kudos was class. Really liked what I saw from Ward-Prowse. Really liked what I saw from Kilman. I'm happy with the goalkeeper. Concerned about Guillermo, everyone. And I don't think there's any future really for Kafal, Krezi, Zuma, Ings, but certainly future for the youngsters and future for for Ward-Prowse, and Kilman obviously happy with really. So that's kind of my kind of summary on each player and the style. And again, just to summarize again, that be happy, stick with it. Things are happening on and off the pitch. But it's going to be difficult because he's just come in. He's seeing what he's got. There's not that many preseason games to do it in. The window's short. There's pressure. Buying players trying to do it quickly. So just bear with it. But you will definitely see an improvement in the playing style. But it's very, very crucial, you can see, to get as many players in through the door as possible, because a lot of that team David Moyes had last season ain't good enough. And unfortunately, it's kind of in the critical areas, isn't it? Your kind of Emersons, your Kafals, your Zumas, your Danny Ings, Souček, dare I say. I'm not sure about him either, in terms of a ball possession team. West Ham, his touch ain't good. He's not good at passing, just good at running for no reason, which is good for the other manager. So, a lot of questions left to be answered. Some questions half answered, some questions bit more answer than the other, so it is what it is. But continue to be happy, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday. It's going to be very, very hot, and like I said, we're following all the transfer news for you guys, and I will do a show as and when we kind of hear something really. And again, thank you very much for continuing to watch. The subscribers are going up very, very comfortably each and every day. We're heading towards that 3,000 subs for Jazz when I can retire and just do it full time. Joking. But you guys take care. Put your comments in again. And I haven't replied to the comments last couple of shows, but hopefully I'll catch up today, really. So you take care, everyone. And have a nice Sunday.